we'll have to see what happens.
I'd like to ask Professor Beinin, this whole issue of this unauthorized labor movement that you've been mentioning that's been developing for several years. The Mubarak regime attempted in recent years to, even though it was unauthorized, to at times negotiate with it. And even this week, they announced a 15% increase in pay for all government workers, almost as an effort to stave off spreading protests. Your sense of this, how the government has been dealing with the labor movement both before January 25th and now?
Well, over the excuse me, over the last decade, the government has had quite a lot of cash. It's been selling off public assets, firms owned by the public sector. Suez Canal tolls were raised. The price of oil was high. So there was a lot of cash in the public till. And as it was moving very rapidly to implement the neoliberal economic restructuring, the thinking apparently was, okay, we have this money. We know that workers are going to suffer from this transition. If they protest, we will meet their economic demands. We won't entertain any political demands whatsoever. But if they demand a wage increase, if they demand payment of back bonuses that are overdue or any such things like that, we'll talk to them about it. And in many, many cases, workers actually won very substantial economic demands. And there were only a few instances when the security forces intervened to crush strikes. And this is very different than what happened in the 1980s and 1990s when workers went on strike. The security forces, and in some cases even the army, rolled into factory towns and literally shot people down. So throughout the last 10 years, what workers have learned is if you engage in struggle, A, you won't be crushed, more likely than not, and B, you have a pretty good chance to win something. And that, of course, encouraged people, emboldened people, taught them that they didn't need to be confined by the trade union, official trade union apparatus, which is an arm of the regime in any case.
I just want to go back to the issue of Suez because it is so massive. 8% of world trade goes through there. 35,000 ships a year, about 100 every single day. 1.8 million barrels of oil a day go through there. First, Professor Beinin and then Sharif, the fact that these workers are going on strike, who, as you said, have been in, sort of yellow unions, government-run unions, and yet they are standing up now. What this will mean for world trade and the pressure that will come down now on Mubarak from outside Tahrir Square.
Well, so far the canal has not been shut. The operation of the canal depends on primarily the pilots. I haven't heard that they have even discussed going on strike, and they haven't participated, as far as I know, in the labor upsurge of the last 10 years. So as long as they are continuing to work, the canal will be open. But with this increasing wave of protests, not only by blue-collar workers, but as Sharif mentioned, by doctors, by lawyers. Tomorrow there's also a call for university professors from the University of Cairo to march from the university to Tahrir Square. So at a certain point, the pilots might actually get caught up in it as well, but so far not, as far as I know.